Good afternoon, TBCY and college students. I hope you're having a good week at school so far. This is Proverbs 11, so let's just jump right into it. A false balance is an abomination to the Lord, but an accurate weight is his delight. When pride comes, then comes disgrace, but wisdom is with the humble. The integrity of the upright guides them, but the crookedness of the treacherous destroys them. Riches do not profit in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivers from death. The righteousness of the blameless keeps their ways straight, but the wicked fall by their own wickedness. The righteousness of the upright saves them, but the treacherous are taken captive by their schemes. When the wicked die, their hope perishes, and the expectation of the godless comes to nothing. The righteous are delivered from trouble, and the wicked get into it instead. With their mouths the godless would destroy their neighbors, but by knowledge the righteous are delivered. When it goes well with the righteous, the city rejoices, and when the wicked perish, there is jubilation. By the blessing of the upright a city is exalted, but it is overthrown by the mouth of the wicked. Whoever belittles another lacks sense, but an intelligent person remains silent. A gossip goes about telling secrets, but one who is trustworthy in spirit keeps a confidence. Where there is no guidance, a nation falls, but in abundance of counselors there is safety. To guarantee loans for a stranger brings trouble, but there is safety in refusing to do so. A gracious woman gets honor, but she who hates virtue is covered with shame. The timid become destitute, but the aggressive gain riches. Those who are kind reward themselves, but the cruel do themselves harm. The wicked earn no real gain, but those who sow righteousness get a true reward. Whoever is steadfast in righteousness will live, but whoever pursues evil will die. Crooked minds are an abomination to the Lord, but those of blameless ways are his delight. Be assured the wicked will not go unpunished, but those who are righteous will escape. Like a gold ring in a pig's snout is a beautiful woman without good sense. The desire of the righteous ends only in good, the expectation of the wicked in wrath. Some give freely, yet all grow richer. Others withhold what is due and only suffer want. A generous person will be enriched, and one who gives water will get water. The people who curse those who hold back grain, but a blessing is on the head of those who sell it. Whoever diligently seeks good seeks favor, but evil comes to the one who searches for it. Those who trust in their riches will wither, but the righteous will flourish like green leaves. Those who trouble their households will inherit wind, and the fool will be servant to the wise. The fruit of the righteous is a tree of life, but violence takes life away. If the righteous are repaid on earth, how much more the wicked and the sinner? So, interestingly enough, in verse 12, it talks about remaining quiet. And oftentimes, so much throughout these devotionals and in a lot of things that we do in youth group, we talk about communication more and more and more, not just communication with God through prayer, but through the way that you are communicating with your environment in terms of how you're treating people, how you're handling your classrooms, how you're handling all the situation. That is all part of how you communicate with the world around you. But silence is also a spiritual discipline to be practiced not just in meditation when we are alone and listening for God's guiding voice, but also when we are with others and need to hold back words that are harsh, hurtful, or boastful. This week, try to be aware of ways in which you might need to practice silence in your relationships. Obviously, at school, that's a big one, remaining silent so that your teacher can teach and your peers can learn. And so it's really interesting that this is just a little turn on that. All the stuff we've been talking about has been, how are you going to talk to people? How are you going to treat your teachers? How are you going to treat your friends, your family, all this stuff during this time? But also, how are you going to remain silent in certain situations? How are you going to hold your tongue when you see somebody making a mistake or your teacher doing something they shouldn't because they don't know how to handle the technology yet? Whatever it is, when are some moments that you need to remain silent? I'd love to hear some of those moments in which you need to learn how to hold your tongue a little bit. I know mine, obviously, the first thing that comes to mind for me and what I need to hold my tongue in more is Look, everybody's going to have an opinion about things that you do. And a lot of people like to make comments, mainly joking, about different things that I do with my job and that kind of stuff, and that's fine. I'm so quick to get defensive and to respond to people who do that. And if I could just hold my tongue and just let it roll off of my back, then my mood would be a lot better and I wouldn't worry about those things so much. So that's what I'm going to try to do. I hope that you will try to figure out some way in which you need to work on your silence as a spiritual discipline. And I will pray for that as we go. Dear Lord, in all this craziness of life and all the noise around us, help us to sometimes just take a breath and get quiet, to meditate, to listen for you. Because oftentimes you will come as the still small voice in the quiet, not in the raging thunderstorms or the fires that roll off the mountains. You come in the quiet moments and speak to us. So in all this chaos and all this craziness, Lord, give us all an opportunity to find somewhere to sit silently for a few moments and reflect. Help us to learn how to hold our tongue in certain situations where being boastful or harmful with our words can impact the way that people look at us and impact our Christian life. Help us to learn how to listen silently to our teachers and to give respect to people that are talking so that they will in turn give us respect when it is our turn to talk. Help us have a good rest of the week of school. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, I'll see y'all tomorrow.